This is a weird thing to see you do. This is a bit obsessive. This is
Yeah, I was just practicing for next year. You never know.
Well, why don't you tell us, since we don't know? We've done enough foreplay. We're 60 minutes. We're 70 minutes in. Have you thought about if Rich goes Masters to go over there and hand it to him? Get the L on Rich.
I have no idea what's going to happen next. I'm just, like I said, it was the same thing last year. I was just like, I want to get as fit as I can. I'll sign up for the Open and we'll see what happens.
Are you just telling yourself that to keep the pressure off, or do you know?
A little bit, yeah. I truly don't know for sure, but we'll see. I don't know what life's going to be like here in another month, and I'm just excited to meet my son Camden.
Yeah. Well, we've given that plenty of time. Let's get back to the games. I
don't know.
What are some of the people close to you when you have conversations about competing again? What are like your wife and your mom and dad and your, do you have a coach?
No.
Okay. And maybe your brothers, Spencer and Saxon. What's the conventional, what's the chatter with them like? If we were listening to one of your phone calls.
My wife is very supportive. If I want to come back and go for it, she would be completely on board and would help me do it. My parents believe that I could do this for the rest of my life and compete forever. My dad tells, you still got it. He pumps me up. Saxon and Spencer, I like to talk smack to sometimes and just tell them I'm coming for you. Uh-oh, you better get it together. I'll send them like a little video or, try this one out.
Would you do Masters?
Yeah, I would do Masters. I also think it would be cool to show up to semifinals if I qualified and see how I stack up there. And maybe that's my games, or I don't know. It's just really comes down to like how my body's feeling around that season of life and just where that focus needs to be. And I don't know. Am I still excited and energized by it? I mean, I train hard. I will say that. Like, I still really enjoy training hard. This month I've been getting on the Echo bike every training day just because I'm tired of that thing hurting my feelings. So I'm putting that thing in every day just to man up and be tough. I believe that I'm not training as hard as I did in 2020. I can tell you that. Like, I don't spend as much time actually, I wouldn't say I'm not training hard. I'm not training with as much volume as I have in 2020. I train just as hard. It's just a little bit less. And I've been spending a lot of time rehab. I spend almost like an hour every day doing some form of rehab and agility. And I'm working hard to just like get athletic again, like cutting left and right and jumping on boxes and, getting back to some like old school kind of football training, to be honest.
After, have you ever had any thoughts between that semifinal where the rope incident occurred and now to where you're done? Have you ever been like I'm done? I'm in the done category. Okay, I'm retired.
Yeah, right after it happened.
Yeah,
I was like, that's it. I mean, when they gave me the diagnosis and they were like, yeah, your ACL's torn and you have a tear in your medial and lateral meniscus and you're going to need to get surgery on it. And I'm talking to different doctors. They're like, you're not going to squat. And I'm like, oh man, like all I want to do is I just want to be able to squat snatch and exercise and train the way that I want to train, even if I'm not competing. Like, that's really, really important to me. So I think there has been times and moments where I felt like I had to make the decision as like, hey, do you want to go and try to compete, or do you want to be able to squat snatch for another 10, 15, years?
Oh, meaning if you continue to push this hard, you may have some other things taken away long-term from you.
Let's just say I come down off of a box, or I come down a ramp, or it could be anything. You just come down on it wrong. And and that ACL completely goes, and you got to go get surgery, and there's no saying you're going to get everything back that you did. You know, the facts are that right now I can control my environment, and the things that I'm doing are very functional movements, and it's not a lot of lateral, unexpected movement, you know, like a football game would be. I know where my squat depth is. I know where my extension is. And, you know, it's very, very functional, and you can do a lot there. But like when you start tying in some of the, like I watched those guys at the Rogue Invitational coming down from the legless rope climbs onto the mat, jumping off the mat, going forward, throwing themselves under a bar, jumping over a bar, carrying. And, you know, you start to see some of those like elements where you're like, oh man, if I just step off that mat wrong.
How about when they come down the hill? That transition scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. So like little things like that definitely come into my mind where I'm like, and I don't know, but at the same time, I'm like, you can't let fear dictate.
Maybe you're almost even attracted to that.
A little bit. I don't want
When's
to
the
look
last
back
time
on my life either and just wonder. I mean, that was part of the reason why I signed up for semifinals last year. I was like, if you weren't fit enough to go, then you wouldn't have qualified. And I was in good standing going in. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm doing a lot less. I'm still performing really well. Let's go see what happens.
Are you swimming?
Yeah. Yeah, I swim once a week.
Ah, interesting. And are you biking?
I bike every training day.
But I mean on a bike. I mean a bicycle, 2-wheel bike.
No, I'm not right now.
I'm just trying to take data points. I figure, okay, if he's swimming, then that means he's still.
That's a plus for the games. Yeah.
Yes. He still has the eye on the prize a little bit.
I am still swimming.
Yeah, that's a very. I like that data.
Doing last year's workouts from the games. That's a plus.
I check in. Let's put it that way. I definitely check in with some workouts every now and again, and like to see if I can still do some work.
You dabbled over at Mayhem a bit, right? There was a point in your life where you started doing Mayhem programming.
Yeah.
And what years were those? You remember?
2019.
And was that the first time you had done any programming different than your own? Were you?
Yeah.
I just what was that?
I handed it off. Rich wrote it, and he told me what to do, and I did it.
And how was that?
I got really fit. I believe I got really fit. It is what it is. I mean, Rich is a smart guy. There's no secret there, and he's been super successful in the sport, and he's someone that I do trust to hand it over to. There are not a ton of people, because in my career, there haven't been a ton of people that have beat me consistently. And if you beat me consistently, then I want to know what you're doing, and I'd be doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys friends?
Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk occasionally. I wouldn't say like we're checking in weekly or anything like that, but we chat and check in on one another, and we definitely became better friends after 2019.
And you were on the team with him?
Yeah, that was the year that they were at the ranch with 5 people, and we qualified for the games as a team, but we didn't get to go. And then they went back. Then they went back to the old way of no more super teams, and then this year they're back to super teams again.
Oh my! Have you talked to anyone about going on a team? Is that something you've explored at all?
No, I think a lot of people are probably like, "Oh man, that guy's like a ticking time." They're like, that guy can go tick tick boom any moment. I don't think we want to say. I might get a call like 1 week before the open with somebody saying like, "Hey, do you want to come down and do the open workouts at my gym?"
You know they're desperate at that point.
Yeah.
I am Hop. Whoever decided there was no way those ropes shouldn't have been cut should have been ashamed. It's a miracle more folks weren't hurt. It literally would have taken them 10 minutes to cut them. Best of luck to you next year. How did that end up? I know we had talked about it before, and you said, "Hey, I've been advised to not, talk about that." So that's fine if you don't want to talk about it, obviously. But is there anything you can say about it? How that ended up?
Yeah, I mean, my manager, Ralph, just was like, hey, like, now's not the time to be diving into all this. My brothers were getting ready to compete the next week, and I needed some time to like not be emotional. And I think that's good. I think if I would have came on and talked, and the things that I would have said would have probably not been as who I am. I would have been speaking out of emotion, and I don't want to do that.
Right. Smart. God, that's so smart.
Yeah,
that's so
I was
smart.
angry.
But it doesn't.
I will tell you that. I was really angry. I was disappointed. But it took some time, and then you redirect and you get back on course. It definitely softened the blow watching my brother Spencer qualify the following week.
Yeah,
which was nice. It was just a bummer because it would have been really cool to show up and compete with both of those guys.
So, he's swimming. He still romanticizes being at the games with his brothers. His dad thinks he still has it. His wife is very supportive. He's doing events from last year's games. And he doesn't want to ask what if when he's older.
Like how you put that last one in there like that.
Yeah, you like that?
The way you framed it.
I feel like that was your encouragement right there.
Whatever I can do. Oh, Matt, let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. Scott, thanks for coming on.